Hi, this is Jody from Puppy Winkle, and last year I made a lot of handmade Christmas tags and people loved them. I wrapped the presents in brown craft paper, just something like this. You can get that at the hardware store. You can get real long ones, like wrapping paper size, at the hardware store for a couple dollars, maybe $4 for a big roll. And anyway, I used the brown craft paper so these would stand out, and people went nuts. Even people who aren't crafty just really loved them. So this year I made some more and I scanned them. So you can make these gorgeous tags. Yeah, that one and that one. You can make these gorgeous tags in a few moments. Just add some string. Here's that one. And here's that one. Just add some string on top. But then I decided to make more of a collection of tag elements. So I added extra ephemera. So you can cut this stuff out and add it to your tags. You know, if you wanted to, here. If you wanted to add a little depth to it, you can cut this out and then put it here. So a lot of these elements are the same as what's on here. So you can mess around with it. You can also put a topper on it. These. You cut them out, fold them in half, and then you put them up here for strength and reinforcement. And that adds, see, it goes around the other side. That adds a nice depth to it as well. I figured after you made some of those pre-made tags, you'd probably want to try some on your own. So I'm going to give you the stuff for that too. Here's a master board. And I'll show you what some of these things can be used for after I show you the whole thing. Here are some frames. So you can just cut out here, slice down here and this way. And you'll have these nice frames. Here are some tag shapes. Come this way. Some kind of squared off tag shapes. Here are some circular tag shapes. Here are some larger and smaller squared off ones. And again, I'll show you how you can use these. Here are the reinforcements again. Here is a pretty Christmassy green pattern and a Christmassy red pattern. Here are tags again that I already showed you, and lots of little doodads. I had some extra space down here. And here is the ephemera, page 1. Got some Christmas music, Merry Christmas to all, little tags and stamps and Santas and scenes, presents. Little Santa in a photo booth. And another one. Similar stuff, but all different. Believe. And here's to froms. So how you can use some of this stuff. Here's how you use the to froms. Here I backed it with a kind of a pretty paper that I happen to have. And I put to froms on all of these pre-made ones. Here's another one, again backed. So you have all the to froms you need. I just realized I forgot to print out one more of the background pages. So this is another piece of background page that you get with the kit. this stripe. And so let's see here. I don't know if you can see it, probably not. But I printed the tag shape onto this after I printed the color. So I printed it through once with the green, and then I put it back in and then printed this tag shape. It was the square one right here, this tag shape on top of it. And so then you just cut it out and you have tags like this. Here I did it with the red. And here I did the green. I printed the green first, and then I printed this on top, and then I cut them out. So there you have an easy way to make all different kinds of tags. You could do it with this one too. And in fact, I did it with that one here. With the bigger tags. So I cut a bigger tag out of the stripe, and then I used this one on top of it. I used the Merry Christmas from the ephemera and just cut it out. This is a piece of the masterboard that I printed on vellum and used as a tag topper. And then I put a brad through it so it has a little to from. And these are all so simple. And if you get the kit, it will have a link to this video so you can remember all the fun things you can do. Here's another one. I did it with one of my printed tags. A piece of ephemera from the kit. And, oh, again, a stripe of vellum with the masterboard on it. I made a whole page of that. It's almost like washi tape. It's just lovely. And then a label. So simple. What else? Here's a little green one. This one's about as simple as you can get. It's the green label, a piece of paper that I happen to have, little scrap paper that sort of went, and then a to from. I just use a glue stick to keep it together. It's something you could do with kids, you know. Think of how the grandmom would feel if she got a little handmade tag with her Christmas gift. I'm guessing that would be a success. So this one, again, a printed red tag, small, piece of ephemera, a little sticker there I happen to have. And then here, I put a piece of the masterboard in the background. And then that Santa, I think that Santa was there, and I just cut him out of the ephemera and put him on top of it, if that makes sense. The Santa was there on the masterboard below, and then I put the piece of paper and the label, and then I cut the same Santa out and put him on top just to give it some depth. So that's how you start to get creative with the layering. But you certainly don't have to go that way. In fact, here are a couple. This here was the tag that I made, just from the cutout. So it was the tag that was already completely done. And the only thing I added some glossy accents to the little berries to make it have some depth. And I'll put a link to glossy accents. And then I put one of these, what are they called? Reinforcements. So the only thing I added to the printable was the glossy accents and this little piece here. So all you have to do after you do those two little things is get your handy dandy hole punch, punch it through, and then add a little piece of twine or string. If you have that white thread, that white twine you use in the kitchen, that would work. And I just fold it in half, stick it through, and then pull it through like that. Oh. Pull it through like that. See if I can get that to show. Yeah, there you go. So again, this is just something I cut out right out of the printable, that whole thing. And the only thing I added was some glossy accents and that little reinforcement and the twine. But it has a great look. You could also add a frame. You could also just put a frame right on top of it. Put the frame in cardstock. That would really make it pop. Put the frame on top from here. Remember there was a page of frames somewhere. Yeah, right here, page of frames. So the more you add, you know, the better it's, you know, the more homemade it's gonna look. And you could put the labels right here too. You could put a label right there too, to really zhuzh it up. Here's another one of those printables. I put some rickrack here. I did the top thing again and punched my hole. And then, oh, and some rickrack down here. And the only thing else I added was this label here. And I inked it up. The reason I have brown ink that I put around the edges, and that helps everything separate. It helps the layers pop. So I'll link to some brown ink too if you want to get brown ink. Yeah, but that looks like a totally homemade tag, because you can feel all these elements that pop, that are, see the sewing? That sewing is the picture. That sewing is the picture, but it all kind of, and this Santa, see how you can see the depth of it? Because I inked around the edges when I made the tag, but that's actually flat here. That's flat on this page. So this and the rickrack are the only things actually sticking up. So anyway, it's so easy for somebody to be creative with this kit. This was the big tag printed on the stripe. This was a smaller piece of craft paper that I cut to fit. Then I put a cardstock frame around here, and I did sew on this one. Not everybody has a sewing machine, but I did sew around the edges. Hard to see. Yeah, there it is. You can see it on the back, maybe. Yeah, I sewed around the edges. And then I made a little kind of a tag out of the stripes again. Put a Sassy Santa there from the ephemera pack, and now you have, oh, and then there's probably something on the back. Yes, there is. So masterboard, a wreath. That's from the ephemera, and that's from the To From page. Piece of cardstock I happen to have. And I'll give you a hint about these ones that are hard to cut. If you just, this one I was careful to cut around the edges, but if you just kind of, when you're cutting out the center, if you do, which I didn't on this because it kind of blended in with the background, but anyway, if you just kind of keep within the color and kind of zigzag around. You know, you're not cutting out these little red berries. You're just cutting in here, and then maybe you cut this leaf out. You can be so quick about it, and then if you missed any spots, you take your brown ink and just daub it on. You can use a makeup sponge or something to daub it on, and that takes all that white away. So you don't even see that you've kind of cheated. So it can be really, really quick. Let's see, here are some little fun things. I used the masterboard here to print it on an envelope. And I think I have a free printable to this. I will look. And if so, I will link to it. A free printable to this form. But I did have to make it smaller. And I think I twisted, yeah, I made it smaller and twisted it around so it was going up and down. I think if you printed it just like I had it, it would have been sideways. But anyway, if you have any questions about that, let me know. And I'm pretty sure I have a printable for that, a free printable. I know I have a free printable for this one. This is a little folio. It would make such a nice gift card holder. So all of this stuff is the masterboard printable, and I used the free printable to make this. And then you could put the little gift card in here and a little nice note, and then that turns, you know, a cruddy gift card, which is no fun to give, into, you know, a real present. So that's lovely. So I'll definitely link to that printable. One more thing I wanted to say, if you have no supplies whatsoever, if you have no cardstock to print on or whatever, one thing you can use is a manila file folder. So I am a bookkeeper, so I have a good supply of manila file folders that are old and beat up and dirty, and that's fine because, you know, this is a craft. It's not perfection. And so I just cut it to 11 by 8.5 inches. And then I cut it in half down the center. And then I had 2 pages that were 11 by 8.5 inches. And then I printed my masterboard on them. And by masterboard, I mean this one. This whole page of collage. So I printed this onto a manila file folder, and then that's what I had, and I cut out just any kind of shape, and I did have an eyelet I put through, but you wouldn't have to do that. Here's some more of that vellum from the masterboard, a piece of craft paper and a to from. I put some brads through that to hold it on and to make it look, you know, kind of cool. And then here's another one from the manila file folder. I used one of the frames, a couple little jewels I had, an old picture of people in the snow. I added some, that's a piece that I added right there that's sticking up, and this is a piece I added. And that's a little something I added. And then in here, again, some more vellum. Love me some vellum. Vellum masterboard. To from, and then I just tied a little pretty bow around it. And so here's the easiest one of all. If you have no supplies except for a file folder, you can make this. I did ink. See the ink? See how it kind of makes things pop? And then I would take a little hole punch, and I just put it on the front, because if you put it on the front and the back, then it's going to be kind of sealed shut, you know, and it'll be hard to open. So I'm just going to put the hole. It'll be sealed by the tag, by the cord I'm going to put on. So right there is a homemade card. You might want to see how this is popping up. You can take some scissors or something and kind of break down that spine. Rub it to break it down a little bit. And then that'll keep it closed better. But anyway, fold your cord in half. Which way do I want it? I want to go like this. Stick it through. Pull it through. And there you have it. And so anybody in the whole wide world can make a gorgeous homemade Christmas tag. So the link to the printable will be in the description. If you have any questions at all, I know I kind of raced through a lot of stuff. If you have any questions about any of the ones I made, please let me know. And I hope you give it a try. It's a lot of fun and, you know, no pressure. Thanks for watching. Bye. Hi. As I was doing the video, I realized how many times I used this cardstock that I had. It wasn't one I made, it was a piece that I had, but I used it over and over and over again. And I thought I'd better include a sheet like that in this kit because I loved it and maybe you'll love it too. So I added a page that I didn't show you about, little white dots on a green, and so now there are 14 pages in this tag maker kit. And in case you're not aware, you don't have to print all 14. When you download it, you'll get all 14 in a row. You know, you'll open it up and one will be under the other. And when you go to print, it'll automatically default to all. It'll print all pages if you just click print. But if you scroll down, you'll see that you can decide which ones to print. You know, if you unclick all and then go to, it might say custom, it might just have a little box. And so if I wanted to print numbers, pages 1, 3, and 7, I would go 1, 3, 7 to print those specific pages only. So that's important to know because there's no way you're going to want to have all 14 every time you print. So anyway, have fun. Thanks again. Bye.